Welcome, Scorpio, to the month of September 2017. I'm Megan of North Star Astrology, and this month I'm going to be doing a bit of something different because, in the interest of saving time, and because I'm dealing with a health issue with my knee. I've developed a moderate amount of arthritis in my right knee, and it hurts far too much to sit for long periods of time or stand in one place, but I can walk at least, thank God, after all the reconstructive foot surgeries I've had. But that's another whole story. Let's see. So, all right. So I'm going to be reading to you, Scorpio, just like I read to all the other sun signs, from the book by Alan Oken, Soul-Centered Astrology, A Key to Your Expanding Self. And I'm going to get right into it. Scorpio, you are considered the light of day. This is the place where the three lights meet: the light of form, the light of soul, and the light of life. They meet, they blend, they rise. On the ray of manifestation, you are the fourth ray. According to the planetary rulers and their rays, you are your personality-centered ruler is Mars and Pluto, and your personality-centered rays are the 6th and the 1st. And according to the soul-centered level, your ruler is also still Mars, and your ray is the 6th. Now, the meaning of the ray of the 6th is quite deep, but and I'll get into that in another separate video. But it means devotion, and as the second ray means like empathic service and things like that, and very empathizing and empathic. So that gives you, if that gives you some idea of what a ray means. The rays, we all have some sort of energy ray of manifestation. So here I'm going to go ahead and read from this paragraph. As the preeminent ray of humanity, the nature of the fourth ray and its corresponding planet. See here, you have the ray of manifestation of the fourth ray. As the preeminent ray of humanity, the nature of the fourth ray and its corresponding planet and sign relationships is fundamental to each of our struggles as we work to move from darkness into light and from death to immortality. As the primary sign of the fourth ray, Scorpio is most closely involved with this struggle in human evolution. Scorpio is thus the sign of the path of discipleship. It, as I said, devoted. It is through Scorpio that the personality enters into battle with the soul and eventually emerges as the victorious disciple. The soul-infused personality. But, as we all know, the way is not easy, and the path is filled with many, often self-created obstacles. When an individual is born with Scorpio rising or the sun in this sign, he has committed himself to battle in the present incarnation. The lower self has to be redeemed by the higher. The awareness of the relationship between the two has been established through Libra. A choice has been made to fight, and the war ensues. This will be especially the case in the most objective sense when the Scorpio individual has also mounted the fixed cross, the stage in personal evolution in which this particular battle is the strongest. And I'm going to be going over the crosses in part part two's video. But the goal in the path of Scorpio is not just to do battle. It is not enough that the pairs of opposites once polarized in Libra now meet in an intense urge to absorb each other. Scorpio does, after all, embody the fourth ray, the path of harmony through conflict, and conflict there must be. The processes of transformation inherent in the Scorpion will go beyond the battle as they proceed into fusion and blending, two other characteristics of the fourth ray. The light of form, the light of soul, the light of life represents the personality, the soul, and the monad, permanent spiritual atom of one's being. Scorpio's great task after the battle is over is to reintegrate these three major human aspects corresponding to the three rays of aspect. Monad first, soul second, personality third, into a blended conscious whole. This is the secret of the fourth way, as well as the hidden truth or rebirth revealed. There is another great secret contained within the nature of Scorpio, the secret of directed energy, the fixed quality of the eye of the eagle. Isn't that cool? Added to the power of Mars gives to this sign an ability for focused direction of purpose unequaled by any other. Once desire is brought to the forefront of consciousness, and this can be the desire for spiritual enlightenment and human betterment, Scorpio loses not one atom of energy through diffusion. The path is clear and he goes for it. The rhythm of the movement in this going is quite different from that of Aries, the other Mars-ruled sign. Unless there is some immediate response by the form aspect of life, Aries, fire, will diminish, subjectify itself, and then suddenly burst forward once again as the ram pushes instinctually, although sometimes naively, ahead. Aries does not have to keep the same goal. It is not a fixed sign. Aries just has to move forward and express itself. It is the fiery matrix of life, as opposed to Cancer, which is the watery matrix. And as a fixed water sign, you, Scorpio, is undeterred in its orientation. It has a firm and envisioned goal at all times. That goal is found in Capricorn, the sign of the initiate. Aries has to rekindle its fire, but the water of Scorpio, always flowing down a fixed course, moving resolutely toward its delta. Should the course be blocked, the water will flow around, wear away, or seep through any obstacle. The current is fixed, the will is set. The waters of the personality, especially the emotional body, will be irradiated by the fire of the monad, or spirit, and blended in the loving consciousness of the soul. Three of the most important collective archetypes for humanity are the Christ, whose passion is embodied in the sign Pisces, the Buddha, whose path of enlightenment is laid out for us in Taurus, and Hercules, the hero disciple, whose tests and trials are portrayed most vividly in Scorpio. And with that, I want to mention that part 2, I will be going over the ways in which the three crosses, mutable, fixed, and cardinal, not necessarily pertaining to all other signs, but only to you, Scorpio, I'm going to be explaining to you what it's like to be on the totally personality-centered cross versus awakening to the soul personality, and then finally the soul-centered individual in our next video. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great September.